We now return to Let's Play Nebuchadnezzar, the Ancient Babylonian Empire. The Ancient Babylonian Empire, sometimes also called the First Babylonian Dynasty, was the first prominent empire that arose in ancient Mesopotamia after the fall of the last Sumerian kingdom. It existed between 1894 and 1595 BC. Even though it was a culturally highly developed empire, most of our information about its history comes from other sources because future conflicts and high levels of underground water around Babylon damaged most of the potential archaeological artifacts. The most prominent ruler of the ancient Babylonian Empire, and also one of the most prominent rulers of ancient Mesopotamia as a whole, was King Hammurabi. He was sixth king of the first Babylonian dynasty of the Amorite tribe and ruled between 1792 and 1750 BC. Under his rule, the empire expanded significantly to span southern and central Mesopotamia, even reaching Mari in the north. However, the most important legacy of Hammurabi was his code, the Code of Hammurabi. This is not the oldest code of law in Mesopotamia, being preceded, for instance, by the Code of Ur-Nammu and Urukagina's Code. However, unlike such previous codes of law, this one was written in Akkadian, the language used by commoners at that time. It was also engraved on a stele located in a public square, meaning that the Code of Laws was also accessible to commoners. As far as Hammurabi's successors are concerned, information is rather scarce. We do know that Samsu-Iluna continued with the empire's territorial expansion, but during his life most of the conquered territories were lost. The ancient Babylonian Empire then gradually started to fade away and lose territory. Finally, the empire fell when Babylon was conquered by the Hittites, who were attempting to expand out of their territory in Anatolia. After that, Mesopotamia was ruled by the Kassites. Babylon, or Babylon as it's written here, was founded during the Akkad Empire in the 23rd century BC, but only rose to prominence during the rule of Hammurabi. At that time, it became the center of the ancient Babylonian Empire. Okie dokie. I wonder how much further this campaign goes on. Can't be too much. I took a peek at this mission, and we are starting to use the third tier of housing. Your task is clear. You are to manage the city of Babylon during Hammurabi's absence. The king's expedition will surely be successful, and you are expected to make sure he returns to a city that will serve as a worthy capital, allowing him to expand the empire even further. Let's zoom out here. So yeah, we now have residences, and we have to have a mere 11 of them. And they don't appear to require too much, so that is good. They have a new thing for furniture, and this is going to be a problem because we have to import the wood. They also now require, where the hell is it? Meat that comes from the butcher, which we now have a secondary item in our livestock farms. This is also a narrow map, and it makes me a little bit nervous to look at it, but I think I can build the city in tiers. So, looking at the ground, the clear land is right along the river, which is probably where I'm going to want to make a lot of my farming, obviously. But there's also little strips here. And at least up here, I think I'm going to irrigate this whole area up here, and maybe build the city here, part of the city anyway, and then go down from there. I think if we want it, well, let's see, how big are these? These are 3x3s. So I could build a small square here of these that could then be easily fed by... yeah. So we're going to have to import. So looking at import spots, I've got one there, got one there, I've got one there. Now, I can get wood from there. I can turn around and sell the wood. We also have our usual. We can start selling meat. So it may behoove me to actually start that up and start selling it. Nothing there? Oh. Okay, so here's our typical fish seller, which I think I will put here, because I've got a spot here, and then I can put fishing spots, and we'll just keep that self-contained. We'll start doing some farms up there. And what do we have? The usual there. More ivory import there, which might be cheaper. Nope, it's definitely not cheaper. But there's our export for furniture. So basically this whole bottom section, I think, will be easier to have the elite area. Like I said, we'll make the farms here because those farms aren't going to be too big. Yeah, so I can put 2 farms here, and then I'll have a small industry going to here, and then we'll go down this way. Because if we actually put this down, that's all that's required, just those 2 things. A lot of appeal. A lot of appeal. That's going to be mildly problematic. I may have to expand this a little bit, because I don't know how much 16 is going to require. Probably a lot. Although at that point, I might just be better off putting these very expensive things pretty much surrounding. I think, honestly, between this and the roads, I think we should be able to get enough. That is, of course, a big question mark, because I don't know that. Alternatively, maybe I could put it over here, and then we can just drag that stuff over here. But I think maybe I'll leave this area here for the 2nd tier villas, because I imagine we're going to have them operating these buildings. And then we'll have a big section up here for our regular housing. So let's go ahead and get this opened. I don't want to kill the whole thing there, but I'll do that much. And I'm going to do kind of like I did last time and just set up a big area. If I wanted to, I could pull this even further, actually. I'm just trying to see if, maybe I don't want to go so steep with it. What are we looking at here? 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I could still pull. Then again, maybe here is fine. Well, maybe not. Now I'm thinking of where I want the road. If I had the road here, it would be easier to get to a spot here, whereas if I cut here, I'll have to go around. So if I'm going to do that, what would we be looking at here? So let's say I want something like this, and then that road comes out here, but then we'd have at least another 3, right? And then that would be the irrigation canal. So really, if I was to do it like set up for last time, we'd be looking at kind of a far... Yeah, that's not really going to work out. Okay, well... We'll just do it this way. And that will... fine. I think maybe ahead of time I'll build a second one here, just so we have that going. In a minute here. So we need you to be somewhat like that. And I may as well just have it go the full distance. Irrigation pump right there. Okay. So then, to copy what I did before, how about I do it on this side? Gets the road a little bit closer that way. I'll have it run this way. That way I can set that up. And then we'll do... be here. That's what I was afraid of. I need to shift this, actually. Wasting a lot of money up front doing this, but whatever. Ah, shit. I'm still off. Damn it. You know what? At this point, I'm just going to save myself some money, and we're just going to restart the mission. Alright, try this again. Now, could I maybe fix this the other way? How about we come from this angle instead? That may actually end up being more beneficial for me. I just want to make sure here. We're pretty much talking no, remember it's gotta be out. It's gotta be out by 3 and then 3 more. It's gotta be here. But only for that side, because it can run up the back side. This might be okay. Let's be here. That seems really big. Like we're actually digging really deep into this. But I guess it is where it needs to be. That's not correct at all. So actually those will be coming down this way then in the city. If I drag here, I could make the city here. Because now we're looking at something like this. Nope, not on that side. Be along the back side. Okay, I think that's gonna do it. Yeah, let's try this now and see where the irrigation is. Not dirt road. Perfect, we got it. Okay. Yeah, so I think we'll just cross over to here. Because what I also want to do is set up maybe clay up in here. Let's take a look. Let's see what else we can actually get. This one would be missing a few, but I could get almost one more farm in here. You know, it might actually work, because we've been missing out on 2 on each side, and that doesn't work with this layout. But if I just had it as a crop farm, I could probably afford to do this. If I did small farms with only 2 people instead of 3, well, in that case I could actually get a few more. I could actually still fill in quite a bit of this. And I believe still maybe also get some clay back in here for pottery. It's a very long ways to drag it though, but that may actually be a wise choice. So if we're going to do that, I could fit one more farm in here. Also at that, at the smaller bit. Only 2 people instead of 3. I know I'm going to have to maximize this. I want to put some farms up here too. Right now we're going to turn these off. So let's get our distribution up in here. I want to have bread. This will be a pickup. And we're going to be looking at an awful lot. Bakeries. More bakeries than we're actually going to be getting out of this. If each of those can handle 2, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one of these, instead of wheat, should be growing something else. Like beer, for example. Okay, I'll just have to remember that. Right now, though, we can go ahead and get started. And at least get one of these going. Just to start up my town. Okay, and this will be left over. That's actually, I could probably do some clay back here too. Oh, plenty of clay. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna connect this road because I have to. And I'm gonna connect that road too. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and maximize. I mean, if you look at the mini-map here, that's a lot of space eaten up. So I'm gonna have to try and maximize what I'm doing here. That's an unfortunate placement there. But I think maybe, yeah, so we could get another one faced off this way. So, how do I want my town to go? So I can get 2 more buildings that way. If that is the case, well, that would be connected there. Connected there and coming this way up the backside. That is okay. It's not ideal. But I think that's okay. Has everyone else been turned off? Okay, you guys are fine. I'm just looking. I don't want to be paying wages for something I'm not using. So, yeah. This. Let's see. If I use this right now for milk, I guess I can use it right now for milk. Okay, let's do that. Pull you back. Yeah, that's still gonna work. And then like that. Let me grab here. Actually, I think I've got enough that I could move it over 1. Right, because we'd have an irrigation. I could actually, yeah. I could move it over a couple. I just want maybe a road going this way. So yeah, let's... It's nice that you get some of your money back. I wish you got more back. So it actually does need to go over by 2 because we need to have now a separate irrigation canal on this side of the road. Which is really the only downside to this, is that it uses extra spaces. But I think it'll be better. I think it'll be better for the network that I want to set up to have things go like that. Then we can just do something like this. 1, 2, 3. Grab you up here. We will do like that. Then we need another pump. And I don't know why I'm really fussing about having the pumps over here. because I can just as easily connect it up over here, which I think I will. It means I have to deal with an irrigation canal running through here, but that is easy enough. This is a good spot for something, possibly clay? I don't know. I mean, I can get more farms in here. Would actually be really good. In fact, right there would be perfect. So I have 2 more farms going this way. Okay. So yeah, I'm actually fine with having that right there. That works out. Pump there, and pump there, and we will just utilize all of this greebled stuff to fill that in. Okay, so we got that going. This will be future, and like I said, I want to still have more farms go this way. So this whole top bit is going to be a lot of farms. It's going to be a lot of basic farms because I still need to have the dates and fish. So I think maybe that's what I'll put over here, as I'll have the date farm fish thing over here because we have a lot of spaces for it. This will also have to double as some kind of industry. Not necessarily, but it does have to at least leave a little bit of space so that I have some incoming goods that I can put here and then haul off to somewhere else. So if I maybe connect up this road like that. Yeah, I'm not really sure. We'll get a spot there. So as far as the actual city, because we should probably be thinking about where I want to do that, I guess I could put my first city patch here. Yeah, my first strip will go there. So we need to have a central house here. And I may end up having a road go this way then. Alternatively, I could just have this here. So we need to think now about how I want to set this up. So if we do 1 garden, 1, 2, road, 1, 2, garden, 1, 2, road, 1, 2, garden, and 1, 2, road, 2, garden, 1, 2, road. So I could do that and then have it angle off this way. I think I'll do that. I kind of like how that looks, and I think it'll be easy to maintain, because otherwise, if I do it the long way this way, that's that much more we have to send off this way. But if I'm going to have a garden, not a garden, a market, I have the cross piece here. See, so if I do it this way, I can do 1 loop that way, 1 loop this way. Where does that go though? So like if we did garden 1, 2, road 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's where that would be. Looks like it's going to take up about the same amount of space. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. A road. Yeah, it would actually take up exactly the same amount of space. So I actually like this orientation better. I'm changing my mind. Okay, so garden 1, 2, that's where the road is going to be, and this is going to go angle off like so. It's going to leave a little bit of a dead space, but that's okay, because maybe that's actually where I can put... Well, yeah, let's just put that thing there. That fits perfectly. It's exactly what I had initially wanted anyhow. And we'll go 1, 2, 3 like you. And this will all be incoming. Like so. Perfect. Okay, so let's get the rest of this road network here. 2 space, 1, 2. It's actually fairly compacted. I really... Just trying to look at the mini-map here. I don't want to go too deep. But I guess if I have to, I could always do plantations out here. One block of the middle guys, the villas, only required me to have 2 farms of this, which actually fits right here. So I could put the date farm right here and feed an inner block here of those guys, and then I could have my... Yeah, maybe that's how we'll do it instead. And then fish won't come from here. There is actually fish. You can get fish from here. There's just no way to do it, though. Not really. I mean, I don't think I could make... Well, I could get 2. Then have this. But the road system to get out here would just be ridiculous. But I could do it. I could actually fish these ponds and have that road come all the way here and feed that block right here. The middle ground would be right there. And then, like I said before, the high class would be easiest to build up over here, just because it has immediate access to the waterway. So maybe that's how I'll do it. I'll set this up as farm and get some pottery up in this dirt rocky area, and or here. And just basically fit anywhere in. I mean, maybe even this square. And try and do that. I'll save this spot here. I wish there was like a little pin or something so I could leave myself notes. Even here might work for an inner farm, and then have irrigation come directly from there. In fact, I could probably irrigate out of this. There's a mod for well pumps. So instead of having to be on a river, you can just plump it down somewhere and it produces water from there. That's a little bit too much, I think, but it's an option. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. While on the one hand I do want to make the game more usable, I don't want to completely tear into it with mods. Because there's mods that also have different sizes for like the store yards and for the market. I mean, I'm using the market one, but for for different types of goods and all that, where you can fit in different sizes of the buildings. There's a smaller version of all of these buildings, so they don't take up 3x3. And that's nice, but it's not necessarily in the spirit of the game. And I got to make sure everybody is getting their water. Okay. So those ones are fine. Be building this up, getting that in. It'll be dragged over here, and then I guess I can put a market. Actually, if I go here with the market, then it'll just pull straight from here. Problem with that then is getting down to this level, so putting the market here, let's just go ahead and do that. Put the poor market here, make it easy on myself, unless I want to... Actually, let's put it here. By putting it here, I'm closer to where I need to be, and then I can also put a caravan here. It's going to be grabbing some stuff. Yeah, that'll work. So you can grab from here. He'll have to be grabbing milk up here. So we're going to have to do something with the warehouse here. Just looking at this stuff to make sure I'm not going to be borking myself with placement. I don't really want to do that, but if I do another farm, it would have to go in right about here, which does line up. It would cross over on it a little bit. further over here could I do this? I could actually stick it here. Not really. Well, okay, it could go here. That's a long way to pull from, though. But how far away would that be then if I did other livestock here and here? That might actually work. And then I would just have them rode onto the other side here. And it looks like I can still get another batch up here. Okay. Well, let me put this one down here. Yeah. Put this one down here, but I will turn you off. And then I will do the dirt road continuing on here. And then get the warehouse. Let's see if I do that though, how are we getting the road? I guess the road comes up the backside. No, this doesn't work though. If I'm gonna have the road come on this side, the road has to be at least here. Which means that to get the goods there, it would have to line up because of that irrigation canal. Okay, no, that's fine. And then this will just sit here, I guess. Let's put those down. I want to make sure. This all is within one range. I don't want to be fussing with it later. So it has to be right here in order to handle this. Okay. And then I think instead of having this guy come all the way up here, I could just put another caravan right here, directly pulling this to here. That defeats the whole point of 4 slots in the caravans, but it might make it a little bit easier, especially if I have to come up and pull from here for something else. Yeah. So we need you to be only milk. Because, you know, either way it works. Like, I'm going to be traversing, it's only a little bit longer. Otherwise, I'd be traversing pretty much the same amount of space to pull it from one to the other. But then they have to stop at the caravan. So, I don't know. I think this will work. We better get you guys going, though. Not that one at all. Okay. So then we need you. Yeah, actually, right now I can turn one of you off. Because realistically, at least early on, I only need one setup to do this. And then you. Well, I did say that one of these was going to end up being beer or something, right? That's going to be a problem, though. Well, if I did it on the outside of one so that it was touching, it would eventually drag themselves up there. So, beer along the side. The idea of putting little farms up here. Although, I mean, so if I am going to do beer, I mean, here we go. Alternatively, I mean, I could just do more bakery. But put bakery in amongst the farms so that they could do half breweries up here or something. I could take care of every need up here, and I'd like to do this as much as possible. Didn't I say maybe I could do beer here? Actually, yeah, maybe I should. I don't know. I might have too much room. So maybe this should actually just be plain pottery instead and not worry about doing that. Because I've got 2 goats here and I can do 2 brewery, and that ought to be enough in the end to handle it. He said, but maybe not. 1, 2, 3. I'll have to have at least 4 if it's going to be like last time. Last time, we managed to get a population of 12 with my layout. 12,000, that is. So, I think... And that was using 3 blocks, right? I think so. I think I got 3 blocks out of that. So we'll go something like this. Just to, on... We also need tablets. So maybe it would be better to save... No. How big are these farms? Oh yeah, I've got plenty of room actually down here to do my dates. And then I can have the elite housing thing here. We need to get fish. Like I said, I can get fish from here. I think I'm going to try that. It's going to leave a big empty spot here. But we can always, maybe extend, I don't know, farms or something in here. I just don't want to be like last time, where we ended up with a lot of empty stuff. I don't ever want to be empty again. So, I think that is where I'm going to leave off. I've got sort of a plan now, and I'm pretty confident I'm going to have plenty of room for all this farming and stuff. The big thing, though, is just going to be getting in there, making my money, because it's going to be very, very expensive. That is still a problem with the game, that it's not balanced enough to make money easily. It really... The ratios of requirements need to be just a little bit tighter, I think. Basically, my personal belief in games is that you should never have a chance of losing on easy. That's why it's called easy. I mean, it's just the fact that it can be so tight. It adds a challenge, it adds incentive, but you have to do a lot to make profit. I mean, getting up to jewelry to start selling requires a lot. Last mission, was pretty much half of my time was spent just doing that before I became profitable. It's kind of a bad deal. Now there is a trade loop in here. Where is it? So we can sell wood. Not there. Maybe it's not wood. What was I looking at? I guess it must be here. So if we get Byblos, we can buy it cheap and then sell it at a higher price. The problem is that the prestige requirement to do that is going to mean that we have to spend a lot of time building that up. So, it's not profitable early on, which, okay, fair enough. I did complain about how easy it was to do that and how pointless it was. So, when we first faced it, so having that fixed now, this one's a much lower requirement. We could do it here, but we'd be buying and selling at the same amount. So the only way this would benefit me, is by using my prestige build up to get me better prices. And maybe when that happens, maybe I can actually do this. But, we're 110 is still a fair bit away. This one, however, I think I'm going to want to just save up before I even begin distributing bread to my people. I need to build another one of these just so I can get bread and open this. I do not know what the other requirements are going to be. But that'll be my first thing. And then, of course, our first trade partner will be these guys. As soon as I can get to 65 prestige, we'll begin selling the fish. And hopefully that'll be offset for a little while. It kind of was, until I started getting into building up. At least initially, selling fish was profitable. So that's our main goal. Okay, been rambling on for too long here. It's time to end this one. I will see you next time.